Hey guys, what's up? B Thomas. Today we're back here with How to Beat Anime, and today, well, hope you're ready to live some of the best days of your life with how to beat the bucket list zombies in Psalm 100, the bucket list of the dead. So yeah, this is definitely a lot different than your regular zombie apocalypse scenarios. Here, it's not more like killing zombies, finding the cure. It's more like just, hey, let's have some fun with it, huh? Yep, we're talking about the anime version. You might check out the live action version, which I know Nerd Explains actually done a video on, though I haven't done his channel yet, so if you guys want me to check it out, let me know. So, without any further ado, let's see how we survive the bucket list. Be sure to like, subscribe for more, hope you enjoy, here we go.
If you had to complete your bucket list while trying to survive the undead apocalypse, what would you do? The world has been overrun by flesh-eating monsters, and you'll have to battle 3 types of terrifying enemies: zombie sharks, psychotic killers, and twister looters. In order to figure out your life purpose and give your boring life some meaning, I'm gonna break down the mistakes made, what you should do, and how to beat the bucket list zombies in Zombie 100. This kid is going to watch all of his close friends and hot girls get ripped apart by zombies. Yeah, Akira here is your bright-eyed kid fresh out of college, starting his first real corporate job. He shows up excited to kill it and even gets a crush on this cute co-worker, not realizing that he's about to watch her die. The company takes him out for dinner after and welcomes him. He feels super excited to start his new life and he will kill it at work tomorrow.
But give it a few years.
His co-workers tell him he isn't going anywhere because they gotta get back to work. Shocking him, he pulls an all-nighter on his first, second day, and third day straight. And he realizes watching his crush getting used by his boss and his co-workers getting worked to the bone, this is what being an adult is all about. Horrifying him, he tries to gaslight himself and thinks this is the life he wants, walking back home tired like a zombie. He wakes up the next day dreading to go to work. Heading downstairs, that's when he sees this flesh-eating zombie eating this innocent person alive. He rushes to safety but realizes it's not over, seeing more terrifying creatures around him, forcing him to run. Horrified, he wonders what his boss is gonna say if he's late to work, stressing him out way more than the zombies. Heading to the roof, that's when he sees the city in ruins and realizes that the world is ending, and that is the best thing that has ever happened to him because now he's free from his job and the world is now beautiful. Yes! Okay, Akira got lucky here, but I would also look into maybe getting a Kindle Paperwhite because this is going to be the most important thing we can use to survive in the zombie apocalypse. Let me explain. The zombie outbreak clearly has just started, which means time is of the essence. While it seems like leaving town is the best thing to do, it is actually the worst because everyone will have the same idea: blocking up roads, more accidents, chaos to slow us down and get killed by zombies. If I was them, I would stay in a high-rise building away from the zombies and looters, but I wouldn't stay in this one exactly. When in doubt, know your way out. Rule number 22. As in Zombieland, the good old movie has taught us. Assuming we don't have parkour skills like this guy, I would find an office building with just a little bit of height, about 2 to 3 floors, as the buildings in higher areas will be the ones to lose water first. Most office towers will be stocked with food and water, such as large offices will have multiple cafeterias. So we could ride out the first week of the zombie apocalypse here, no problem. This type of location would also give us a good general overview of the area. Now, while we could barricade most, but not all the exits to keep us safe in the first wave of zombie attacks, and true, also while we have time, I would also look for arguably the most important tool that will be underlooked during a time like this: getting a Kindle Paperwhite. And the reasons are gonna shock you, because it's technically possible to download the entirety of Wikipedia onto a Kindle Paper as long as any EMPs aren't used. This thing also works on solar power, by the way, and it'll be able to last for days on a single charge. Everything from survivability to medicine, as well as things to help us fight boredom, we'll be able to download onto it, while we wait safely here to see if this is a local or wide-scale event that the military may or may not try to intervene. And also staying here will help us get our bearings on what's going on, because while going outside of the city is good, realistically, we would need time to center ourselves and to adjust to the situation as normal people first before going out and competing for resources Hunger Games style. Akira won.
That's actually kind of smart, I gotta give you. So, honestly, I think that's the best plan you could do. Like, as soon as you see something, you find your safe zone and be like, okay, let's just wait a few days, maybe figure something out. I mean, sometimes it's best to see, like, not make an immediate target of yourself by running. I think it would have been like, okay, let's back up a second, close the doors, lock them, find a way out just in case, and run when it's needed, you know? Save your strength, save for when the, like, panic dies down. So that way, you know, when people are gonna either be killed or still just looting, you got an idea of what's going on. Anyway, back to it.
wonders what cool things he now can do with his free life, but he remembers his office crush. Wondering if she's alright, he runs off to go find her and declare his love. Locating her apartment, he notices the door is unlocked and a pair of men's shoes inside, just as he sees his company CEO, and he's a zombie. Manning up, he confesses to the big boss that he quits, but thanks him for being his teacher, pushing him out through the window, and he splatters onto the street. And then he sees his crush, but she's a zombie too. He confesses his sad feeling for her like a stud and runs away, saying goodbye to his first love. That night, he pops a cold one and thinks life is short. So he creates a bucket list of everything he wants to do in his life before he dies. The next day, he drinks a bunch of morning beer surrounded by zombies and feels like a god, but realizes there is one big problem.
Let me guess.
He's now out of beer! Shocked, he heads out to get more liquid nectar of the gods and bumps into these two survivors, offering to pick them up some groceries. Hopping on a sick bike, he reaches the store, not realizing he's being watched. He spots a cute survivor inside. Bodacious, nervous, he tries to play it cool and make small talk, but she clocks him picking up a beer and not water. Taking out her phone, Akira tries to get her number, but she refuses, but comments him risking his life for beer is stupid, and he will soon die a painful death. And that's when suddenly zombies rush in. But she saves him just before this truck slams into the store, killing these flesh-eating bastards. But she says she will never see him again, but it's too late. Akira is in love and wonders when he will see her next. Heading back home, he happily stops by his neighbors with groceries, but sees their home covered in blood. Heading back to his place, he drinks the night away, but sees that he only has 30 things on his bucket list and needs to add more things in case he dies tomorrow. And tomorrow is when the internet finally starts working again, but Akira realizes that this must be because there's no one using it anymore. And he checks his old texts and decides catching up with friends that should be next up on his bucket list. Finding an old college roommate named Kencho, he's the most confident guy he knows, which means he's probably still alive somewhere in Tokyo. Calling him, he hears a terrified voice making small talk. He says they should catch up, asking for his location. Kencho tells him he's surrounded by zombies at a bondage place in Shinjuku, but Akira happily says no worries. Heading over there, he blasts a car horn, attracting the zombie horde while he sneaks in. Finding his long-lost bro, he apologizes for not being a good friend back then and wants to make it up to him, but Kencho tells him they have bigger problems right now. Suddenly, more zombies burst through the door, forcing them to head to the roof, blocking the door. Akira tells Kencho what he's worried about. They need to jump, but Kencho doesn't have the balls and reveals to Akira something crazy, saying he actually hated his job and doesn't have life figured out, so he might as well just kick a bucket. Akira then jumps across the building and survives. Balls of steel, he convinces Kencho to live life and do what he wants, making him realize that his dream is to become a stand-up comedian. Akira tells him to do it and make his jump right now, funny as hell to practice. Convincing him to man up, Kencho takes off his clothes for some reason and jumps across, getting saved by Akira. Later, they camp out and try to figure out their life plan. Akira thinks going out on a date should be his next achievement, but Kencho laughs, pissing him off. Akira declares that he'll get a date today if it's the last thing he does, but Kencho spots his bucket list and wants to add to it, and suggests that they should both try to reach their dreams or die trying. Starting with Akira's first wish, scoring a date with some hot chicks, and for some reason he wants them to be flight attendants, but anyways, Kencho adds a widescreen TV to the list first, so they head off to the nearest mall. But on the way, they suddenly spot an oil tank right for them. Akira thinks fast and drives over this ramp, barely missing it, escaping the explosion and diving into the small parking lot, running into more zombies. No choice. They sneak through this door, but that's when they run into some next level survivors. Hot ass babes. We got Ray with the dark long hair, got Magi with the dark short hair, and Yukari with brown short hair. Paranoid and given up, Akira and Kencho try to cheer them up, and they introduce themselves, and everyone starts drinking. But that's when Akira realizes they're accidentally doing his bucket list right now, whining and dining babes. Okay, well, it might not seem like it. Getting these babes shamefully drunk is actually the best move for our survival. Let me explain. We have to remember that we don't know who these people are, and I would first figure this out before spending one night in here, because look, they're desperate, which is a bad sign. In general, the average person won't know how to process their emotions effectively to avoid breaking down in high stress
Look at them up
situations
to
like
open them up.
This means these normies, judging by their faces, have a nervous system that is in overdrive right now, and they're probably carrying underlying chronic anxiety, keeping them from feeling calm, confident, connected, and clear-headed. And this is a huge problem for us, because one wrong move that they might not act rationally, even if we get along. If I was the boys, I would keep them drinking and talking while looking out for 7 signs that they were operating from survival mode right now. This would allow us to covertly figure out how big of a flight risk these babes are, and how likely they would be to turn on us. Because while we have a better shot of surviving in a group, it's actually not true if the group is filled with crazy people. Because while these babes might be pretty, we cannot forget the golden rule: never trust a baddie right away. Akira finds...
Yeah, honestly, I think it's more like, don't always make sure you know who you can trust. Which in a zombie apocalypse, trust is something you really gotta be careful of. Think of it like a currency. Like, they got a lot of trust, well, someone's gonna eventually betray that trust and, well, use it. So, yeah, honestly, the liquoring them up, yeah, what? definitely treat him like, a truth serum, I guess. Well, like I said, I'm not sure how long it would last, but I'm gonna say, they run a lot. Anywho.
Finds out his girls are flight attendants too. He tries to keep calm and focus on the mission, but discovers he doesn't know how to flirt. Seeing Kencho being a stud without him, he gets sad. Not giving up, he whips out this bottle of tequila and tries to show off. This one girl encourages him, while Kencho gives him a what the F look. A little later, he throws up, but one of the girls comes in to check on him, making him think he has a second chance, until he finds out she has a boyfriend and is just being nice. They chat for a bit after, and he finds out this girl didn't like her job like him, and always wanted to follow her dreams, making Akira wonder what his dream really is. Meanwhile, Kencho comes back with hanging out one of the girls, but spots one of the group's members has been bit. Kencho thinks fast and knocks this girl out, while the old guy rushes to attack Akira and the other girl nearby. Pouncing, Akira punches the zombie away, but it's too late. His bae has been bitten. Wanting to help, the girl pushes Akira away before the zombie finally kills her, forcing him to run back to Kencho sad. But he tells him that he found one thing from their bucket list, a flat screen TV.
Hey,
so
okay,
they
baby.
them all a little bit more happy than they left and head back home. A little later, he starts to realize that unlike Kencho and that girl, he's never had a dream before and wants to figure out what it is. A few days later, the boys find out that the military has begun clearing a part of Japan. Wondering if his family is safe, Akira suddenly has a crazy idea that will get dozens killed in the next day, and he considers becoming a zombie superhero, fighting zombies and saving humanity. More crazy than smart. He does some research and tells Kencho they need to head to the local aquarium as soon as possible, because he's found his perfect super suit, and he has no idea that he's about to face off against a horrifying zombie shark. Heading off to Aqua World, they pick up his superhero costume, this shark-proof dive costume, designed to protect against shark bites and zombie bites. Nearby, survivors run from...
Well, to be fair, I don't think a human could actually bite through that, because, let's be real, if it's going to stop a shark bite, it's definitely going to stop a human bite, so, gotta say, getting that suit, good call. I mean, misguided dream, but, hey, works right? Always get some armor. Anyway.
From zombie hordes. About to get ripped apart, they get saved by Akira, or Aki Ranger. Looking to Kencho for approval, he's like, "K." Rescuing them to safety, he notices the girl from earlier in this group miss risk analysis. Suddenly, this zombie attacks him. Deflecting, he shows off for the girl, but realizes the pressure from the zombie bite still hurts, and quickly gets overrun. While Kencho wishes him good luck and waits inside,
wow, Kencho!
Getting rid of them, gets annoyed that he didn't look cool, but comes up with a new plan to chat his crush up. Inside, he finds out that she's barely even remembers him. Trying to be smooth, he asks her for her number again, but she psychoanalyzes him instead, saying that he must want to be a hero to compensate for his lack of identity, and this is his biggest weakness, totally shattering his confidence. Ha! Kencho overhears this and tells her to be nice, but she says he didn't consider how reckless he was just now, shocking the two of them at her amazing arguing skills, and Akira realizes that she's right. If he keeps acting silly, Kencho will soon die because of him, and he starts to wonder what it means to be a hero and if he has what it takes. Suddenly, they hear an explosion nearby. Checking it out, the water is flooding the hallway fast, and that's when they spot their next opponent, a horrifying zombie shark! Everyone runs for their lives in horror. Akira thinks quickly about what a hero would do and announces they should commit a tactical retreat. Basically doing what they're doing right now, but it sounds
runaway, yeah.
He feels better about himself. Risk analysis girl thinks the zombie divers the shark ate must be stuck inside, using their legs to control the shark, making absolutely no sense, but don't worry about it. The group rushes to
honestly,
the
how does that even work?
Run into a fresh horde coming
right
come
on!
Okay, if I was them, I would have ignored all of this and I would head back down to fight the shark, relying on its eyes and its big fat body as its main weakness. Let me explain. Even without the shark, these guys didn't bother to check the aquarium fully the moment they walked in. And when you think about it, this place is located near Haneda Airport, one of the most busiest airports in the world. It makes no sense why they didn't bother entering this place way more cautiously. This shark here comes from a rather particular shark family. It's very fast, insanely aggressive, and is even known to attack humans. However, it's noted that this shark couldn't get through the entrance into the escalator area. This is likely because the walls around it are more fortified and stronger to be able to handle large flows of people going through it on a daily basis, and the shark here could sense it, since it didn't even try to go through it. You think Analysis Girl or somebody in the group should have noticed this and should have come back to this spot after they went up to first try and find weaponry, even if there were zombies coming from them from the front. Unlike the much slower zombies, this shark would have kept coming for us and would have been able to break down most defenses that stood in its way. Coming back down this way, I would have also tried to find a sharper ranged weaponry, like a jagged pipe in this position, to use offensively, luring it close to us
Yeah,
while going
smarts.
for the 3 main weaknesses of all sharks: its eyes, gills, and nose, a known super sensitive spot for most sharks. Not letting the zombies above phase us and taking care of the shark first was the best long-term solution. Everyone escapes to this other door, but one survivor freaks out and pushes Akira's crush back, leaving her for the zombies. Meanwhile, the gang escapes to safety, and Akira does a head count but realizes that his crush is missing. He rushes back through this vent and charges at the zombie shark, saving Bae at the last minute and riding it like a cowboy. Shocking her with his balls of steel, she questions why he's doing this, but he says you don't need a reason for everything, breaking her reality in half. She finally decides to help him, coming up with a plan. She figures out this breed of shark is a special species that has electrical charges in it designed to detect fish. If they zap it with a jolt of energy, they might be able to stop it. Meanwhile, scared Kencho follows his best friend in and tries to help. Manning up, he distracts the shark by getting naked again for some reason, but slips and almost gets his groceries eaten alive. Akira's crush saves him at the last minute and throws a fresh pair of batteries to Akira. He uses them to thunder punch the shark, knocking it out, and he wins the death match, taking off another item on the list: to be a superhero. After everyone parts ways, Akira tries to have his crush join them, but she doesn't like working in groups and thinks they would put themselves in danger to help her. Desperate, Akira surprises her with something shocking. He says she is now very precious to him, which means him trying to save her actually makes sense in terms of risk, breaking her reality a second time. Impressed, she finally gives Akira her most valuable asset, if you know what I mean: her name, Shizuka, and a phone number, saying they'll probably never meet again, so it's cool. Heading back after a job well done, Akira wants to take off another bucket list item, checking in on his parents, located in Gunma, but doesn't realize this next goal will get his entire village eaten alive by terrifying monsters. Stepping off to pick up some sick watches, a good old Rolex Daytona and Richard Mille, they take off their bucket list and prepare to leave. But suddenly more bad news pops up. They're now out of water and reception. Figuring out the city water pumps and network must finally be down, signaling the end of the world, at least in the city. They realize they should start taking this zombie apocalypse seriously before it's too late. Akira thinks long-term for the first time in his life and wonders how they could live sustainably off the grid, and wondered maybe his dream is to become a farmer, making him more determined to reach his parents' farming village no matter what. And he's gonna have to deal with a lot more crazy, terrifying shit before he gets there. Okay, at this point, they don't have all the time in the world anymore and need to come up with a better long-term plan of how to escape the city, because it's harder than it looks. So far, now enough time has passed that we can tell the military isn't coming, as they've likely gotten overrun in the city themselves, which is a sign that shit is about to get more serious than we thought, and means any intervention now will take more than a few weeks or months, best case. Knowing this, we can start figuring out how to save ourselves. For starters, before going anywhere, I would actually start protecting ourselves with proper armor for the long journey we're about to take, using everyday items readily available to us, like tape and sheets of A4 paper wrapped around our forearms, thighs, and chest, allowing us to still be mobile and light on our feet. Before leaving, I would also begin plotting any known army surplus and police stations nearby to hit up on the way out. At this point, cities will become too dangerous to stay in, as they're not designed to be left alone. I would first leave our area at night, crossing the streets in black clothing, while I hit up the police station first. At this point, the bulk of zombies would have left the cities, following humanity's retreat, meaning the cities would be empty enough to handle whatever few stragglers we come across. However, unlike in the movies, sneaking around through the sewers to escape the world would actually be way more risky, because at this point, it's possible that the underground rain and water lines might be filled with CO2 or any low explosive limit gas.
So
taking a route like this makes no
either
sense.
explode or suffocate.
I would just stick to the streets, and I would make note to carry a gas monitor on the small chance we might and need to go underground at some point. Heading off.
Yeah, honestly, fair point. Just, also, honestly, I think I would have thought, okay, they were like gaming there. I'm like, really? That all you got? Honestly, okay, back to my zombie plan. After a while, I think I would have seen, like, okay, how do they respond? Do they, like, go on sight, sound? What's going on? See, okay, what do they not attack? What they attack? You know, go all that. Possibly also see if I can get my keys, or car keys, see if they can lure them. Like, at least that's what my plan would have been. Anyway, also probably get a vehicle that could, you know, run through a bunch of people without stalling, so like a truck or something. Though probably need to figure out something like to, you know, make sure it doesn't make noise, so that way they don't get ya. So bike's probably the best option, though not the motorcycle like these two are using, since, you know, like I said, they seem to be attracted by noise, so that's a bad idea. Anyway.
They stop to get a new set of wheels, but run into Shizuka and thinks it's fate because she's also
Hello.
heading out of the city. And he thinks she should go with him, but she sees no benefit, making him sad. And then he finds out that she doesn't have a license. Kensho tells her driving without a license is poor risk analysis, so they should team up, breaking her reality a third time. She finally agrees and they head in, and they get excited and start yelling. She thinks they should try something safe and reliable, but the boys tell her to live a little. Suddenly, zombie hordes bust in, forcing the group to get into the nearest RV and floor it, taking off the next thing on the list. Get an RV. A few hours later, they run into road spikes, causing them to crash, but find out that Kensho has been badly hurt as they get approached by this gang, and Akira discovers it's his old office chief, Kasugi. Seeing him, Akira's anxiety levels shoot way back up, making him act like a little boy. Kasugi tells him their compound is stocked with food, and he can take care of Akira and his friends like in the old days. With zombies approaching fast, he makes a deal with Akira's group to come work for him for 2 days while they rest up. Shizuka knows they're trapping them, but shell-shocked Akira tells them they should do it anyways. No choice, the group agrees and heads to his compound. Seeing all his people struggling, Akira gets put to work like a dog, just like his old job, and sees zombies being used as employees too. He quickly starts to break down under the pressure, as Kasugi reveals to him that he's company property too, and if he wants a good life, he should stay quiet and keep his head down. A little later, Shizuka watches Akira be a little bitch boy, but finds his bucket list in the RV and comes up with an idea to save him, not realizing that trouble is headed their way. The next day, Kensho, finally recovered, tells Kasugi that their deal is now finished, but brainwashed Akira tells him he's decided to stay here. Shocked, Shizuka reminds Akira of how her dad used to boss her around as a kid, and basically tells him to man up, shoving his bucket list diary in his face. Checking it out, he sees she's added a new item, telling him to tell his boss how he really feels. This triggers some inner
welcome back.
And he finally speaks up to his boss about how he feels and says they're leaving. Just then a delivery truck returns. The driver opens the door, but this zombie springs out, ripping his flesh. Freaking out, everyone runs, including this driver, flooring his truck into the other chained up zombies nearby, freeing more flesh-eating hordes. Everybody starts getting infected with tons of blood and guts. It's awesome. The gang hides out on these trucks, while Akira eyes up this gas can and comes up with a plan, coordinating the survivors to drive their trucks around the remaining zombies, quickly trapping them in this square, lighting up a match and blowing up the inside. He saves the day and everyone cheers, and Shizuka gets impressed, and they share their first cute moment. Desperate, Kasugi tries to go back to being the boss, but everyone thinks he's not worthy anymore, and people start leaving the compound, including Akira's gang. Akira wonders if he'll ever find his dream since he hated Kasugi's manual labor, but Shizuka tells him that he should just try it all and enjoy the journey, and one day he'll find something that he loves. Back on track to see Akira's family, they run into this crash truck full of more zombies. Akira puts on his Aki Ranger suit and is about to kick ass when a full-blown samurai springs up from out of nowhere, slicing and dicing all the zombies, looking even cooler than Aki Ranger. But the samurai replies to them in German, shocking them. Named Beatrice, she tells them her backstory. A wannabe Japanese person, she's obsessed with their country and came to study here when the outbreak started, and says her dream was to eat the best sushi in the world and was transporting sushi to a master chef nearby to make her dream happen. Desperate, she asks the group if they can help her deliver her sushi, and they'll be able to eat as much sushi as they want. Already on his bucket list, eating amazing sushi, Akira says hell yeah, but Shizuka gets worried about heading back into a zombie-filled city. Heading into the nearby town just past Central Giza, they run into a whole alley full of zombies. Beatrice says the sushi shop is just past here, which means they need to get through. Coming up with a plan, Kensho lures the zombies with his glorious peach. Oh, that's funny. Chasing them down this alley, Akira gets the mark and blocks it with a truck, boxing them in, about to light them on fire with this alcohol. Suddenly, a new horde breaks through, overflowing the area and about to screw up their plan. If they don't stop them, they'll swarm their truck. Okay, while this horde may seem surprising, this result was actually super obvious if you think about the architectural design of this location. Let me explain. Ignoring that we're going to get sushi, this shit must be pretty good. And ballers, hey, we gotta eat. It's noted the sushi place is located past Central Giza, a famous place known as the shopping district. Unlike residential areas built for privacy and security, an area like this will be designed for easy movement and wide doorways. More people equals more money. This is not great for us, as this means that there's a high chance that tons of zombies are just chilling in the malls, waiting for new humans to pass by. Also, gathering a horde in this specific instance, while smart on the surface, was really stupid, because this only attracts more noise and attention and attracts more zombies. Plus, killing them in this one spot was a waste of energy and resources. Because unlike a lot of restaurants, sushi bars are known to be tight and compact, with small small entrances and not as accessible windows compared to restaurants with more open-air designs. And this is good because this means that the chances are they didn't even need to kill all these zombies. They just had to not be able to be seen entering the restaurant in the first place. If I was them, I would have created some kind of loud battery music player, like one of those phones with the default shitty music on there, and set it to loop and buy a battery pack. It's the apocalypse, you can go find one. Before attaching to an aux cord. From here, I would place this phone on a low-level rooftop in a location in the opposite direction of the sushi spot. The loud music would begin to attract the rest of the hordes to that area, and from here, I would just circle back to the sushi spot, but due to the tight entrance designs, I would park the truck right in front, parallel to the door. This will help defend against the few stragglers still in the area from entering the shop while we eat our hearts out. The battery pack attached to the phone lasts a whole week on a single charge, so even if we left this shop in the morning, it still would have acted as a good distraction and would have allowed us to leave the area and get back on the road easy peasy without any problems. The huge...
Honestly, I think I would have gone with the whole normal way, but still would try to kill him, since, could be a while, since, at least try to help. Still would have tried to kill him too, since, next crew coming in might not be able to kill him, so, hey, pass it on, right? Though, again, hence the, get more ammo, and probably would have still aimed for, okay, just easier like a corral area. That way, just whoop, whoop. Yeah, also I think I would have, if I was earlier, I think I would have grabbed some liquor bottles and made some Molotov cocktails. That way, if I do need to clear out a bunch of them, just be like, yep, adios. Burn them to death. I mean, hey, why not? Anyway, let's see how this works for them.
Zombie hordes shock
incoming.
They struggle to light the match, but Akira makes an epic speech about manning up. But they all know what he wants is sushi. He jumps into battle to stop them, inspiring Beatrix to help him out. Shizuka quickly fires up a drone for her plan B, luring them into one spot before burning them to a crisp, freeing them to take one more thing off of their bucket list. Bomb-ass sushi made by a master chef. The next day, the gang convinces Beatrix to tag along with them to his parents' village, stopping at a Nippon hot spring first to take off another item, going into a hot spring. About to get in, they run into another horde, not prepared in without any weapons. They run up this cliff to safety, unable to get back to their truck. They spend the night here, hoping the zombies will soon disappear. A little later, Akira wakes up and goes to find a bathroom, but runs into a hidden hot spring. And again, he runs into Shizuka, freaking her out. The two hide behind this rock. She tells him to buzz off, but Akira is too comfy to leave, so they agree to stay on their side. Shizuka apologizes for being such a hard ass this whole time. She was raised that way and admires Akira's free attitude. She bonds a little too much and finally realizes it and puts her emotional walls back up. And just then, the others pop up out of nowhere and thinks the two are hooking up. Desperate for a hop out, they join them. The next day, they get back on the road in their RV. Nearing Akira's parents, they reach this tunnel, but realize it's blocked off and full of zombies. Cutting through over the mountains, they suspect the tunnel was closed off by the villagers for their protection. And Akira's parents are probably fine, you hope. Going down the hill, they run into a random person who saw her not from their village, and this guy will soon save their life. He's a carpenter and has set up a new life in the forest. Akira and Kensho force Shizuka to build a sick-ass treehouse, and Akira learns a life lesson about thinking of others. After, they continue their journey, crossing this scary mountain and wobbly bridge. And Akira realizes that he's never repaid back his parents for what they did, and thinks maybe his dream should be that. Finally reaching the village, he spots his parents. Seeing his dad, he apologizes for giving them troubles when he was younger, but his pops pimp slaps him in the face, telling him to quit whining because they got bigger problems, and offers this group to stay at the farm as long as they like. Later, the gang finds out this village is blocked by the mountains from all sides, and is self-sustaining. They blocked the only road inside with zombies. With tons of free time, Akira tries helping his mom out, but is more annoying than helpful. He eventually helps his dad with his work, trying to figure out how to repay them, not realizing that his dad is on the verge of dying. Mid-chat, he passes by this group. His dad tells them they're from the city, but Akira thinks he's seen this guy before. Just like Akira, he's got his own horrifying bucket list that will destroy everything soon. Taking off smaller things on his bucket list, dreadlocks, making more friends, Kensho spots who Akira saw earlier and realizes this weirdo's name is Higurashi. They used to go to their school. Jealous of their friendship, that night, Akira has a drink with Pops and offers to stay at the farm longer to help them. But his dad reveals that he needs to keep exploring to find his place in the world, and one day his dream will come to him. He also says his dreadlocks look like shit. They enjoy their time together, and he takes off another item, a heart-to-heart with Pops. Nearby, Higurashi's evil crew turns up the power of the electric fence, trapping everyone inside the village, and they head to free the zombie tunnel to take off their bucket list. Fudge up society. A little later, the locals are chilling when they hear the strange nearby sounds, footsteps, groans, hundreds of zombies. The screams start sounding off as the gang all come together to figure out what's going on. The town is getting overrun by zombies. Pops tells
Not again.
Akira to go help his friends while he helps his mother and the others. Gathering the survivors inside some
Come on,
houses,
let's go.
Higarashi's crew starts bombing the village, causing more destruction, taking off, planting bombs, and firing guns. Shizuka thinks and orders them to meet up on the town border, and they should evacuate everyone onto the suspension bridge. But that's when they figure out they can't get through. Discovering the town's electricity is way stronger than it should be, they figure out Higarashi's crew have trapped the whole town inside, and that's when the bad guys arrive. Akira discovers Higarashi's bucket list, telling them he's always hated his and Kencho's friendship and now wants to make the world as miserable as him. Shizuka tells them that they must retreat, shut down the electric fence, and meet on the mountain bridge. They split up from Higurashi. They play a game of tag, hide, and seek. Okay, if I was them, I would save all my time and energy by targeting one person that will literally solve 90% of all our problems. And it's not who you think it is. Let me explain. We are trapped right now against 4 people and a horde of zombies, and we gotta save everyone. At this point, we got too many variables to figure out, which means we need to try focusing on 1 or 2 things that will help solve most of our problems. 3 people here are unhinged and quick on their feet, which makes them bigger threats. I would target this man driving the truck because he will be the key to everything. Because of this, I would split up our group and use one of us to circle back and try to target this guy. He's the only one with a gun, and this makes him dangerous. Taking him out will allow us to gain access to the truck, allowing us to mow down the rest of the zombies and be able to run over or scare off the bad guys, since they don't have any guns. And having this vehicle will also allow us to save the villagers, or at least a few of our favorite ones. Worst case, we can use the truck as a means to shield them from immediate danger if we get held up. The gang splits up, and Akira rushes back to his parents and says he's sorry for being a burden on them this whole time and prepares to die for them. But Pop pulls him into the house and tells him to take care of his mom. Nearby, Beatrice reaches the water wheel powering the electric fence and tries to stop it, but Higurashi's minion, Glasses Girl, stops her and breaks her old sword in half, claiming to be a kendo master. Beatrice realizes she's outmatched and the zombies close in on them. Thinking quick, she runs towards the water wheel directly, destroying its power and rolls out on it, shocking Glasses Girl at this ridiculousness, distracting her as she gets eaten. Kencho is dealing with this village girl and tries to save her, but spots another evil minion. He charges at it, but Kencho pulls him down to the ground, surrounded by zombies. He finds another reason to get naked, shocker, and jumps onto this pile of shit, covering his scent. While the zombies kill the bad guy, that's 2 bad guys down, and he rushes to go and find Akira. Meanwhile, Shizuka tries to save these old people, this time not analyzing her risks at all, luring all these zombies onto this field as one of the minions goes full creep mode, licking his lips. This guy is worse than a zombie. About to catch her, she gets saved by one of the villagers, and the rest of the old and goldies team up to protect Shizuka and kick this guy's ass. Back at Akira's spot, his dad is about to get overwhelmed by zombies, but Higurashi shows up and saves his life, only to threaten him for Akira. He wants him to lock the door and get in by zombies, or else his Pops will die. Pops tells Akira to chill out because he's terminally ill and tells him to help humanity by helping others, and this will make him proud. Suddenly, Akira comes up with a plan, opens the door, the zombies enter and horrifying screams are heard. Akira then comes up as a zombie, shocking Pops as the bad guy laughs. Akira walks over to Higurashi, but that's when he pulls him down, revealing that he's wearing makeup thanks to a makeup parts from the city that was hiding out in the house with them. He's tricked Higurashi and saves Pops. He gets sad and wants to have fun in life, but Akira says he looks miserable. Just as he gets it, more hordes quickly surround them. Feeling bad, Akira finds out from Higurashi that his dream was to go swimming with his friends like he did when he was a kid with no responsibilities. But he reveals to Higurashi that him and Kencho always invited him to hang out, but he was so in his own head he never noticed. Gives him a hug and checks off another thing on his bucket list to give hugs. But Higurashi shoves him and runs away. Starting to turn, he imagines this cliff as his old pool to dive into, and then kicks a bucket, if you know what I mean. Akira then runs back to meet everyone at the fence, just as Beatrix rolls in, saying she can't stop, crashing the water wheel into the fence. The gang barely escapes and runs straight for the bridge out of town, seeing it's been broken last minute. And that's when Akira's carpenter friend from earlier shows up with another makeshift bridge he made and helps everyone barely escape for their lives. After, the gang makes a promise to themselves to never become like Higurashi and be so down they'll never see any way out, and they end up helping the village go back to normal, clearing out the rest of the zombies and making everything safe again. A little later, Akira finds out that his dad has been missing him all this time and wishes his dad would get better, finding out that his dad just has hemorrhoids and hates hospitals. Shocking Akira, he tells his dad hemorrhoids need to be treated soon or else it could be life-threatening, and that makes it his new mission to go stop the zombie virus so he can eventually save his dad and take him to a hospital. And his family encourages him to dream big, putting it on his bucket list, and they all fill out their deepest dreams, and even some fun ones. Getting excited for the adventures they're about to go on, the gang says goodbye to Akira's village and head off to save the world. So guys, what do you think?
Man, got all of that anime. Started as a fun trip, and now, well, off to save the world, to save his dad. Well, let's just hope if they ever do a second season of this, and hopefully they release it all at once, or at least, you know, not take months to do it. Sorry, just had to go there, but here's hoping for season 2, huh? I'd love to see that story go through. Anyway, till next time, guys, thanks for watching. See ya.